In the dim glow of a rainy afternoon in suburban Connecticut, I sat frozen at my kitchen table, staring at the DNA results on my laptop screen. 0% match. The woman I'd called Mom for 38 years wasn't my mother at all. My name is Emily Carter. Or at least that's the name I grew up with, the one etched into every school report card, every holiday card, every whispered doubt I'd buried deep inside. I'd built my life around stability, managing accounts at a mid-tier finance firm in Hartford, where days blurred into spreadsheets, client calls, and the quiet satisfaction of numbers adding up just right. Home was a cozy split level on Elm Drive, where my husband, Mark, would grill burgers on weekends while our 3 kids chased fireflies in the backyard. It was ordinary, safe, the kind of life my mother, Victoria Hayes, had drilled into me with her sharp eyes and sharper words. Stability over dreams. Emily. Dreams fade, bills don't. Victoria wasn't the hugging type. Her affection came in clipped nods and practical advice, like doses of medicine you swallowed without question. As a kid, I'd learned to read her moods like storm clouds. Gray meant disapproval. Black meant silence that could stretch for days. I chalked it up to loss. My older sister, Sophia, had been the light of her world, with Victoria's sharp cheekbones and Dad's infectious grin. Sophia died in a freak skiing accident at 16, when I was 13, leaving a void that swallowed our family whole. Photos of her still lined the hallway like shrines, while mine gathered dust in albums. Sophia would have gone to Yale, Victoria would murmur at dinners, her fork pausing midair, the comparison hanging like unspoken judgment. I was the leftover, the daughter who tried harder but never quite filled the shoes. Dad, Robert Hayes, softened the edges. A retired accountant with a knack for bad jokes and secret ice cream runs. He'd slip me notes under my door, your aces, kiddo. But he'd passed 4 years ago from a stroke at 64, leaving me to weather Victoria's chill alone. I limited visits to her colonial and the next town over to obligatory holidays, where gifts were always sensible, savings accounts for the kids. Never the fun stuff. She means well, I'd tell Mark, echoing the excuse I'd fed myself for years. But cracks had always been there. Faint lines I'd ignored like hairline fractures in old plaster. No photos of me as a baby. Just sudden appearances at age 3 in family albums. Victoria's evasive answers about my birth, it was complicated. Emily. Drop it. Brushed off with a wave. The way she'd stiffen when I needed my birth certificate for a driver's license renewal, insisting on handling it herself. And Aunt Clara, Victoria's younger sister, with her lingering stares at gatherings, her mouth opening as if to spill something, then clamping shut. I dismissed it all as family quirks. The scars of losing Sophia. Grief built walls, I understood that. Or thought I did. Until that evening at Clara's birthday dinner, when the walls crumbled, exposing a rot that had festered for decades. Clara's house was a charming craftsman in the hills, filled with her pottery collection and the scent of homemade lasagna. At 65, she was Victoria's opposite, vibrant, chaotic, always ready with a bear hug. We arrived late. Kids bickering in the back seat. Mark navigating the winding roads. Happy birthday, Aunt Clara, I said, handing over a custom mug I'd commissioned from her favorite artisan. Victoria was already there, perched at the table like a judge, her silver hair immaculate. Dinner unfolded in familiar tension, Victoria nitpicking the kids' elbows on the table, Clara countering with wild tales from her art studio. After dessert, Clara's signature tiramisu, the kids dragged Mark to see her latest sculptures. Victoria stepped out for a smoke. I helped clear plates, trailing Clara into her sunroom kitchen with its herb pots and mismatched chairs. Sit for a sec, Clara said, her voice dropping low. Serious. My pulse quickened at the shift. She poured herself bourbon. Neat. And slid into the chair opposite me. I've held this too long. Emily. 38 years. It's eating me alive. The room spun slightly. Laughter echoed from the living room. Distant now. What? Clara's eyes, usually sparkling, were shadowed. Victoria isn't your biological mother. She didn't give birth to you. The words landed like a gut punch. I barked a laugh, disbelieving. That's cruel. Even for a joke. No joke. She rose, unlocked a drawer in her antique hutch, and pulled out a worn envelope. I kept evidence. Thought I'd tell you at 21. But Sophia had just died, everything was chaos. Then your wedding. Your kids. I couldn't shatter your world. But secrets like this? They poison everything. My fingers numb. I opened it. A birth certificate with my birthday. But parents listed as Laura Thompson. Mother, father unknown. Faded photos of a young woman cradling a toddler. Her eyes swollen but fierce with love. And a handwritten plea, my daughter. Born April 7th at 3:12 a.m. She has a star-shaped mark on her right ankle. I've searched for 35 years. She was taken from me, I never consented. Please. If you know anything. The sunroom walls closed in. I gripped the table. My ring digging into wood. This can't be. Clara's tears fell freely. Victoria couldn't have kids. Tried for years with Robert. Then, poof, you appeared at 3. No pregnancy. No nothing. I was in grad school, came home to a new niece. But the stories never added up. Truth slammed into me. No maternity photos. No birth stories. Victoria's cold distance, not grief. But guilt. Does she know you're telling me? No. And don't confront her yet. Process this. You deserve truth. Emily. God. You always have. Victoria's voice called from the hall. What's taking so long? I shoved the envelope into my bag. The weight of betrayal settling like lead in my chest. The next week was a haze of pretense. At work, I audited reports with mechanical precision. The envelope hidden in my desk like contraband. Home felt like a stage set, dinner with Mark. Homework, help. Bedtime stories, all while my mind screamed questions. Who was I? Why the lies? Mark noticed the shadows under my eyes. Rough week at the firm, he'd ask. Rubbing my back. I'd nod. Swallowing the storm. But silence bred rage. A slow burn that demanded answers. I booked a discreet DNA test in a neighboring state, swiping a strand from Victoria's comb during a fabricated coffee drop-in. Results in a week, the tech said brightly. While waiting, I dissected my past like a forensic puzzle. Called a distant cousin. Remember my early years? Vaguely. You just showed up one summer. Mom said adoption. But got shushed hard. Adoption? The word twisted like a knife. Photo albums yielded nothing pre-3, no ultrasounds. No first steps. Victoria's stares. Once disappointment. Now reeked of fear. My curly brown hair. Mismatched to her straight blonde and Robert's red. The star mark on my ankle she'd called ugly, a blemish to hide. Nights blurred into insomnia. Snapping at the kids over nothing. Burning toast. Lying awake as Mark slept. Victoria called once. Haven't heard from you. Clara spinning tales again? She's always dramatic. Paranoia spiked. Did she suspect? I visited Robert's grave on a foggy morning. Whispering to stone, did you know? Were you part of this? The email arrived mid-meeting. 0% relation. I excused myself. Retching in the bathroom. Waves of betrayal crashing. My life? A facade. Worse. Laura Thompson's letter screamed of agony, a mother robbed, searching endlessly while I lived obliviously in her shadow. Victoria hadn't just lied, she'd orchestrated a theft, turning me into a living reminder of her crime. I parked outside Victoria's house for half an hour, DNA printout clutched like evidence. The key felt traitorous as I entered. She was polishing silver in the dining room, her domain of order. Emily? Unexpected. We need to talk. My voice steel. She set down the cloth. Coffee? No. Tell me about my birth. Annoyance flickered. Complicated delivery. You've heard this. Stop lying. I slapped the results down. 0%. You're not my mother. She scanned it coolly. Snooping behind my back. You built my life on deceit. We faced off. Decades of unspoken fractures erupting. Who is Laura Thompson? Her flinch was visceral. Where'd you hear that? Doesn't matter. She's been hunting me for years. Said you took me. Victoria's facade cracked. Raw fury spilling. I rescued you. She was 20. Broke. In some artists squat with dreamers chasing rainbows. You'd have grown up hungry. Unstable. I gave you structure. Schools. A future. You stole me. No adoption papers, I've checked. Robert wanted kids. Agencies rejected us, too rigid. His contact knew this girl. Desperate. Papers were informal. By then, you were ours. What? Send you back? Ruin us. You kept me like stolen goods. Ungrateful. I sacrificed everything raising another's child. Fearing exposure. Seeing her in you. And Sophia? When she died. I was just the unwanted spare. She recoiled. I tried. But love? It doesn't come easy after what I did. Rage boiled over. You gave me conditions. Not love. Trauma from feeling broken. But you're the thief. She stood rigid. I'm your mother, the one who bandaged knees. Paid tuition. Showed up. Laura's my mother. I'll find her. Her face paled. You'll ruin us, reputation. Legacy. Your legacy is kidnapping. I stormed out. Free for the first time. The air sharp with vindication. But freedom tasted bitter. Laced with loss. Locating Laura Thompson took hours online, a gallery curator in Oregon. Her profile laced with subtle pleas for a lost daughter. I dialed at midnight. Heart pounding. This is Emily Carter. Born April 7th. Star mark on my ankle. A gasp. Then sobs. My God. Emily? My baby? I think so. Just learned. We talked till dawn. She'd been deceived into temporary care. Then ghosted. Police dismissed her as flaky. She'd searched relentlessly. Posting flyers. Hiring PIs. Baking phantom cakes. I never stopped loving you, she whispered. Not one day. Her warmth pierced the void Victoria left. We met in Portland. Hugs. Tears. Half-siblings who welcomed me like a missing piece. Joy mingled with fury, the years stolen. The love denied. On the return flight, resolve hardened. Victoria would pay. I retained Sarah Klein, a sharp civil attorney in family law. This is abduction, she said. Eyes wide. Criminal statutes lapsed. But civil suits for fraud. Distress. Alienation, we can nail her. Evidence mounted. Forged docs. Clara's testimony of my sudden arrival. Laura's search records. The suit hit like thunder. Victoria bombarded my phone. How dare you? You stole lives, I countered. Truth goes public. Proceedings dragged. Her defenses crumbling under scrutiny. She claimed salvation. Evidence screamed crime. Testifying. I bared the scars. She raised me without love. A reminder of her guilt. The judgment crushed her damages. Public record of deceit. She aged overnight. Isolated. Selling her house. But revenge's price hit me too. Sleepless nights reliving trauma. Kids confused by the fracture. Mark's quiet support strained. Months later, Victoria called from Arizona exile. One last meeting. Curiosity one. At a diner. She looked broken. Handing a locket, my newborn photo inside. Hidden by Robert. He knew the wrong. This was his remorse. Confession spilled. Desperation for Robert's happiness. Self-loathing turning to distance. Sophia's death as divine punishment she projected onto me. I tried to love you. Failed. My burden. She left an envelope. Medical history. Birth father leads. Behold. I stole that. No forgiveness. But understanding dawned. Her choices chained us both. I forwarded the locket to Laura. Closure bridging our rift. A year on. My amended certificate reads Emily Thompson. Laura visits often. Baking with grandkids. Her love mending old wounds. Siblings share stories. My birth father reconnects tentatively. We founded a fund for abduction victims. Turning pain to purpose. Victoria fades in Arizona. Her silence, her penance. Revenge didn't heal. It exposed the cost. Fractured bonds. Echoed betrayals. But in truth's light, I stand whole. No longer defined by theft, but by the love that endured.